Yes. Online business takes time. Okay, so thank you very much. बाकी सब कहाँ हैं? Late night. जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी It is so difficult to sing. और इतनी क्लासेस अटेंड कर चुके अब तो याद हो गया होगा कि नहीं? हाँ? Chant loudly, huh? Close your eyes and think what you are hearing, and then you do to sing. Otherwise क्या है कि तुम लोग देखोगे कौन धीमे गा रहा है, कौन तेज गाऊँ या ना गाऊँ, कैसा लगेगा, मेरी आवाज़ अच्छी है नहीं है, doesn't matter. It's like prayers are the most powerful, you know. The spiritual life is nothing but prayers to Krishna. Huh? It's nothing but prayers. ठीक है? जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय भज जन रंजना यशोदानंदना भज जन रंजना यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय यमुना तीरवनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी जय माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदानंद जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे आओ हरे राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Lord, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Radha Gokulanand Radha Gokulanand Radha Gokulanand Radhe, Gokulanand Radha Gokulanand Radha Gokulanand Radhe, Jaya Radha Landanishwar Radha Landanishwar Radhe, Radha Landanishwar Radhe, Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe, Shyam Sundar Radhe, Sundar Radha Shyam Sundar Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Jaya Sri Radhe, Jaya Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Jaya Sri Krishna, Jaya Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Jaya Sri Krishna, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jaya Subhadrama, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Ganpat Dhami, Ganpat Dhami Bhavatu, Jaya Jagannath Swami, Ganpat Dhami, Ganpat Dhami Bhavatu, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari, Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitya Gaura Hari, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Okay, so You all can open this Veda base Bhagavata as it is and open the introduction. Okay, I'll be sharing some part here. You are able to see the introduction? So I'll be reading, and some part I'll be asking you to read, and then I will be explaining it. Okay. So what we are reading Bhagavad Gita, like we discussed. You got the Veda base? You just search in the Google Veda base. So open on the website, and then you go. There are many books only listed there. Library. Bhagavad as it is, and in that you open the introduction. So last class I discussed about the background where this battle is going to happen. So we are reading Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why the name as it is? Because his name is Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Abhay Charanarvind. So this Bhagavad Gita commentary has been written by him. So he has commented on the Bhagavad Gita as a devotee of Krishna. We belong to Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So there are many Vaishnava Sampradayas are there who try to understand Krishna or the philosophy of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Upanishads, and all the Vedic literature. So, in please listen carefully what I'm saying. Actually, someday I will conduct the quiz as well. For those, always bring pen and paper as well. Make notes what I'm speaking, and it will, it will be very good for you and helpful as well later on. So, in remember in the one of the previous classes we discussed the classification of the Vedic literature, and we talked about Shruti, Smriti. There are different categorizations are there. Okay, so any Vedic sampradaya is called bona fide, means authentic sampradaya, if they justify their philosophy three prominent path. This is called prasthantrayi. Trayi means three, prasthan means path. Okay. So this is called prasthanatrayi. They have to write commentary and they have to justify whatever philosophy they are propounding. It can be Visishtadvait, it can be Dvaitadvait, it can be Suddhadvait, it can be Advaita, Sankaracharya's philosophy. It can be any sampradaya. Doesn't matter which Vedic sampradaya you are coming from, but your philosophy has to be justified by these three, path. So that is called Prasthanatrayi. So Prasthanatrayi, they have one of is a Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so they have three. One is a Shruti Prasthan. Shruti Prasthan means they have to justify their philosophy. Like I'm propounding certain philosophy. I'm saying that, okay, I have already explained you that, you can imagine Paramatma, Jiva, and Prakriti as a three nodes of the triangle, and then so there are five elements in the universe. And most of whole Vedic philosophy is based on this, and Bhagavad Gita is based on this. Okay, these five aspects of absolute truth. So now different philosophies have been written. What is the relationship between Paramatma and Jivatma? What is the relationship between Paramatma and Prakriti? What is the relationship between Jivatma actually? So different philosophy has been written, different relationship has been given actually. There are certain philosophies, they say that Paramatma equals to Jivatma equals to Prakriti, everything is one. There are philosophies who say that they are identically exactly equal. Ontologically, existentially, they are same. Certain philosophies say they all are three in a unity, but there is some distinction is there. So like this, they say that Jivatma is nothing but reflection of Paramatma in Prakriti actually. Like you see your face in a mirror, and an image will be there actually, a reflection will be there, but that reflection is not you, but is a resemblance is you actually. So the Bimba Pratibimba, there are many philosophies are there who explain. So the relationship between these three real entity Are they equal? Are they same? Are there some relationship is there? That's how the different philosophies has came actually. This makes sense now? But your philosophy is a valid philosophy. Whatever sampradaya philosophy or whatever system you are following, it should be self-consistent and it should be justifiable from this prasthantrayi. So first prasthan is a Shruti prasthan. Means philosophy has to be certified, verified, or exemplified, whatever you may say that, coming from the Upanishads. Upanishads called as a Shruti actually. So Acharyas and Sampradayas, they have written a commentary on the Upanishad justifying their that whatever philosophy we are saying, this is there, Upanishad, slok number this, verse number this, it is speaking the same thing. So they have to write a commentary on the Upanishads, and that is called Shruti Prasthana. मुझे पता है किसी को याद नहीं रहेगा, तुम लोग अगर लिखोगे नहीं और ध्यान नहीं दोगे ना, किसी को याद नहीं रहेगा. But this is, I'm teaching a very systematic way of Bhagavad Gita, because people they just read it randomly here and there without even an understanding. A systematic study is required. If you want to become a physicist, you have to do a systematic study of physics. You want to become a mathematician, you have to do a systematic study, a serious study of mathematics. So similarly, Bhagavad Gita requires a serious study. Okay, otherwise हर बार सुनोगे तो हर चीज में कंफ्यूजन रहेगा, पता नहीं चलेगा कौन क्या कह रहा है, कैसे कह रहा है. Okay, the framework is required. So we are giving you the framework. So first path in a prasthan trayi is a Shruti prasthana, and that's the reason Sripad Sankaracharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharya, Baldev Vidyabhushan, and many of our acharyas, they went on to write commentary on the Upanishads to justify their philosophy, that whatever philosophy we are propounding, the seed of those philosophies are there in the Upanishads. We are not creating our own actually. Upanishad justify, like when you do a citation actually. You cite that, okay, you don't invent F equals to ma square. Someone can ask you from where it is coming. So you have to do a justification. Okay, no, F equals to ma. You can't justify means write any random stuff. It has to be verified. So there should be a support ideology or philosophy actually. So okay, yes, I got little distracted. Where is how I can go to Bhagavad Gita? No. Okay, just a second. Let me stop little bit presentation and then. Okay. Yes, Puspendra Prabhu, you have a question? Not just you have raised your hand, so okay. So the second the second path of the Prasthan Trayi is a Nyaya Prasthan. So Nyaya Prasthan is written about you have to write a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Vedanta Sutra is nothing but it is a compilation, or you can say when you go through a complete course, so finally you write down all the formulas in a short form. Okay, it's like a compendium. I remember when we were preparing for the JEE, we used to have a compendium for mathematics, for physics, or different, because you can't carry heavy books for your exam centers actually. So you will have a compendium, very small. You just look out, okay, what is the relationship between different variables? Everything written in short form. Sure. Okay, so that is called Vedanta Sutra, Vedanta. It is Srila Vyasadeva, who is the son of Parasar Muni, and we have a Parasar lake here. So his son, Vedvyasa. Vedvyasa is an incarnation of Krishna himself, actually. So Krishna himself came to compile the Vedas, actually, because no one else can write the best expression of yourself you can write when you write an Atha. You explain by yourself. So Krishna himself came as a Vedvyasa to write the compile of Vedanta, Vedic literature. He called as a Vyasa because earlier the Vedas were only one, but then as the age was progressing, people's memory capacity and everything getting degraded. So he made the Vedas in a 4 divisions. So he's divided the Veda. That's why he's called as a Veda Vyasa. Vyasa means he has done division of the Vedas. So he classified the Vedas in a four category actually. Anyone knows what are those? Yeah, good. So Rigveda, then Samveda, Yajurveda. So these are the four prominent Vedas actually, and there are Upavedas as well. Okay, these are the four prominent. The Vedas then they go for a further categories actually. Okay, so in the Vedas you have a Samhitas. So Samhitas means they are the pure invocations. Okay, for different aspects of the absolute truth. And already in the previous classes I explained actually the very first verse of Rigveda I explained little bit. So they are called as a Samhitas. They are written in a poetic meters. There is a certain aspect of Vedas which are written in a prose, and they are called as the Brahmanakas. Brahmanakas are elaboration of the rituals or the invocations. Actually, they is like something has been written in a formula, but then you require an explanation of it. Actually, so Brahmanakas are nothing but an explanation which is written or elaboration written. Actually, after the Brahmanakas, the Aranyakas are written. Aranikas are written like those great, seers, the sages, or the sadhakas, those who are living in a forest, and they want to achieve the highest benedictions provided by the Vedas. So they follow Aranya. Aranya means forest. That's the reason you get a Dandaka Aranya. Dandak Aranya. Aranya means forest. So it's a dense forest. So Aranikas are written for those categories of people. Then after the Aranikas, the Upanishads are written actually. The Upanishads are nothing but a certain chapters. It's like a concluding ceremony of the certain big yagyas. So in certain chapters of the Vedas, they're the conclusion or the summary of those particular teachings. They become a Upanishads actually. So each Vedas they have this four component actually: Samhita, Brahmanakas, Aranikas, and then Upanishads actually. One point. These all are part of Shruti. But then we have a Smriti tradition as well. Itihasas, Puranas, they are the Smriti tradition. Because Vedas are written in a very cryptic language, very difficult to understand actually. And that's the reason Vedvyasa, he compiled Puranas actually. The similar stories are appear in different part of the Vedic literature. Puranas goes more like we as a teacher, when we teach in a class, we give a theory, we write the formulas and expressions, derivations, they give an explanation, and then finally do an example actually. So examples it is very much like a Puranas, which are easily comprehensible actually. So Puranas, everyone can understand easily, story format, a lot of people will like it to understand. So that's how the Puranas, Itihasas, and Smritis are written. Smriti also contains the code and conduct actually. And they change as the time, place, and circumstances, like how to behave, how to, family. And that's the reason so many Smritis has been written. But if you see in the terms of hierarchy, the Sruti find they're epitome of the Vedas actually. They're the epitome. And in the epitome of the Vedas, you find Upanishads are the condensed form of the learning actually. After practicing the complete Veda, what is understanding coming from? That's come from Upanishads. And many times, directly we call Upanishads as a Shruti actually. But Shruti contains many things. Okay. But the most important when we call it Shruti, so we call it about Upanishads. So Upanishad Prasthana, that is also called as a Shruti Prasthana. Someone has to write commentary on it. Justify your philosophy. That my philosophy is coming from the Vedas. You got a point? The second Prasthana is a Vedanta Sutra. Why Vedanta Sutra Vyasdeva has written? Because he has already compiled, Mahabharata itself contains 1 lakh sloka actually, and that's all earthly planet. If you go to the heavenly planet, it's a millions. Ramayana itself, Satkoti Pravastaram. Matlab, crore slok hai Ramayana itself actually. So reading such a vast Vedic literature, very difficult. If you see the Rig Veda itself has a more than 100 branches. That's the reason the Brahmanas are known by their branches actually. Someone coming from Sandilya Gotra, someone is coming from that Gotra, someone is coming from this one, because you have to follow that tradition in those days, because you cannot study the complete Vedas. If you are able to study complete Vedas, you become Chaturvedi, or all the Vedas, but it's not possible. So people went on to read Trivedi, 3 Vedas, 2 Vedas, at least 1 Veda, not even 1 Veda, at least follow whatever sakha you are following actually. So every Vedas they had multiple sakhas actually, difficult to study. So Veda to do all this, it's like nowadays we cannot remember anyone's phone number because we store in a mobile actually. But earlier, we used to remember everyone's number. Not point. So same way, because as age is progressing, the quality of the people is degrading actually. The capacity is also degrading actually. People you will use, walk so many, long distance. We can't walk even from this block to that block. We think, okay, there should be some, automatic mechanism. It's difficult because we don't have a physical capacity. We lost physical capacity. We are losing moral capacity. We are losing intellectual capacity. People are not able to understand even a simple thing in the age of Kali Yuga. So imagine understanding all the Vedas is possible. Some people came over there, I just went and read the Vedas. No, Vedas require very strong qualifications actually. When Sripad wrote commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, name as a Sarirak Bhasya, what is the first, qualification to read that commentary? Brahmacharya. Person has to be complete celibate to read that commentary and understand it actually. How many can follow it actually? Difficult. It's qualification. So imagine reading Vedanta Sutra requires this qualification. Imagine reading the Vedas. Anyone randomly cannot go and just buy a book from some bookstore and read it. You do not understand actually. One point. Like you may memorize the formula, but you don't even understand what that formula means actually. So similarly, people can memorize and go and have a darshan of those things actually, but understanding those require a spiritual qualification. It's like when you want to do and perform a measurement, every instrument has to be calibrated. Otherwise, your result is random. It happens. All of you, those who are flying the drones and doing different experiment, you have to do a very strong calibration. Every parameter has to be tuned properly. Otherwise, results are just random. You will not be able to control it. So similarly, when someone follows the spiritual life, he has to calibrate himself. Self-calibration is required. If you cannot calibrate yourself, your study will not be fruitful. It's like you do an experiment and that is, how do I know 1 meter is 1 meter? Someone has calibrated it. Okay, they have counted, okay, this much distance. How do I know 1 second is 1 second? How do I know 1 kg is 1 kg? Every fundamental parameter of measurements are calibrated properly. There are atomic clocks which measure the time to such a precision. So calibration is required. So when we follow the spiritual life, the self-calibration comes in a place. On a point. So Ved Vyasa knew that in the age of Kali Yuga, people have very poor memory, poor mental capacity, intellectual capacity to remember and understand. So what he did, the gigantic Vedic literature, he compiled in a very nutshell 550 verses actually. Verses become a Vedanta Sutra. Some people find two verses together, so number goes a little bit up and down, but more or less it is 500 to 550 verses around. That's nutshell Vedanta Sutra. The first sloka of Vedanta Sutra says that Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Now inquire about the Brahman. First sutra of Vedanta Sutra. So Shruti Prasthana, Nyaya Prasthana. Nyaya Prasthana means Vedanta Sutra. So every Acharya, every Sampradaya has to write a commentary on the Vedanta Sutra to justify whatever philosophy they are saying. It is coming from authentic bona fide Sampradaya. Not randomly I'm creating, I became my own, self-styled guru, incarnation of Bhagavan. No, not like that. Just because I'm expert in speaking, flowery words, jugglery of the words I'm able to do. So I declare myself an Acharya, Guru, Bhagavan, whatnot actually. No, it's not like that. And that's the reason Nyaya Prasthana has been written. Nyaya Prasthana means you evaluate any philosophy actually. So any philosophy which is coming has to follow this Nyaya Prasthana, which is Vedanta Sutra. They have to write commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. And the third is a Smriti Prasthana. Smriti Prasthana means of all the Smriti, the topmost Smriti, Bhagavad Gita is as good as Surti, actually, if not more than that. It's as good as. Why it is called Smriti? Because it is written by Vyasadeva and part of Mahabharata, which is Itihasa. And that's the reason it is called. It is not found in Vedas actually. But they all are, because Ved Vyasa has done the division, but everything is a part of Vedas only. But Mahabharata is called as a Pancham Veda. So in Mahabharata, in Bhisma Parva, when the battle is going to happen, why it is called Bhisma Parva? Because Bhisma is a commander in chief of the Kauravas actually. And that's the reason if you see, read the Yuddha, when the Mahabharata war is happening, each Parva in this section where the war is happening, named after who's going to lead the battle. So the Bhisma Parva. So in a Bhisma Parva, this this Bhagavad Gita comes actually. So Bhagavad Gita, so every sampradaya, they have to write commentary on the Bhagavad Gita as well to justify. And that's the reason so many different sampradayas are writing commentary. They have justified their philosophy. It makes sense to everyone? Anyone has a question here? Okay, good. So we belong to Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya and successively written commentary on the Bhagavad Gita because we're also bona fide Vaishnava Sampradaya. From the land of the Bengal, once upon a time, we are actually the part of Madhva tradition, by the way, Sripad Madhvacharya. Our tradition goes back to them. But then that succession comes to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Bengal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went on to further. We call this a Gaudiya Vaishnava. Gaudiya, why? Because it's called from Gauda Desha. Gauda means beautiful, actually. So coming from the, that beautiful land of the Gauda, we became a Gaudiya Vaishnava followers, actually. And we follow the path of the Vedanta. It makes sense now? So why the commentary on the Bhagavata has to be written? Because every bona fide sampradaya has to follow these three paths. This prasthanatrayi. So we will be reading the introduction. When you read a book, how to read a book? So when you read a book, start from the very first chapter, not the chapter, in fact. You should read the first, even the envelope, the cover of the book. And then each page you should read actually. Unless until you are very expert, you have read so many times. But if you read a book for the first time, always, even your course book, you should start from the very first cover page. Because those cover pages, people have, those who have invested their mind and time, they have put an energy, have some sense into it actually. So similarly, Bhagavata also has to be written, studied from the very first page cover till last actually. So we'll be reading from introduction part. Prabhupada has written a very beautiful introduction, quite long. But if you are able to read itself, I can tell you, get in a nutshell, you'll be able to understand so much philosophy and landscape of Indian tradition or Vedantic tradition or tradition of the Vaishnavas actually, especially. Who are qualified to read Bhagavad Gita, what kind of qualifications are required, what kind of a mental setup is required, what is a nutshell message of Krishna. Like when you want to read a research paper, you read an abstract. You directly don't just jump into the paper because paper may be too long actually. You have to know that what is the content of the paper actually, and that you can get from abstract. So similarly, Prabhupada has written an introduction. So Srila Prabhupada writing, I will start from the introduction, read little bit. Om Jnana नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति सा पदान्तिकम्. So this is called Mangalacharan. Why Mangalacharan has been done? Because when you read the very shastric detail, because you people are very new to understand those terminologies and all those stuff, but every book has a Mangalacharana. Why Mangalacharan has to be done? Mangalacharan is a auspicious invocation. The first requirement of Mangalacharana is that when we do any auspicious activity, like we take blessings of Krishna, the deities of our home or Kula Devata, any auspicious, from your birth ceremony to death ceremony, the blessings are required everywhere actually. हमारे यहाँ हिंदुओं में 16 संस्कार होते हैं, जन्म संस्कार से लेकर अंतिम संस्कार. जन्म से नहीं, जन्म के पहले भी होता है गर्भाधान संस्कार. Even to take birth, so many sanskaras has to be done. So Mangalacharan is done so that invoking the auspiciousness actually. And Mangalacharan also have many other purpose, like indicating what is the content which you are going to read actually. That also you can get to know from Mangalacharan actually. Mangalacharan is also done for giving a blessings actually. Who are going to read it, what benefit they will derive by reading it actually. They should know, na, why I should do it, why I should read this book. Because what are benefit are there? So Mangalacharan are done for these three purpose. One for invoking the auspiciousness, so that we are able to finish nicely. And no, there are many other benefits are there. Otherwise, shuru kiya to khatam hi nahi hoga kabhi. So Mangalacharan is done to invoking auspiciousness. Mangalacharan is also done to indicate what is the subject matter of what you are going to read actually or study. Mangalacharan is also done to give the blessings actually. Those who are going to read and study, put time and energy into it, what benefit they will derive. So for these three purposes, the Mangalacharan is done. So Prabhupada is writing in the Mangalacharan, he's doing, inviting the blessings of our acharyas and, about whom we are going to read. So can someone read the first two lines actually after this, which I wrote, which I studied, I spoke? Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jananandana Salakhaya Chaturunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sa Padantikam. Vinita, read first two lines, 4 lines. हिंदी पढ़ना है भाई, फ्रेंच थोड़ा ना पढ़ने को बोल रहा हूँ.
संस्कृत है ना.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, हिंदी इंग्लिश पढ़ो, ट्रांसलेट पढ़ो. आई एम नॉट आस्किंग यू.
I was born in the darkest.
Loudly.
I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. For my respectful obeisances unto him.
Second line.
When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me the shelter under his lotus feet?
See the first, the auspiciousness, asking that I was born in darkest of ignorance actually. If you see that, means when the baby takes birth, lives in a womb where there's no sunlight, darkest of ignorance. So it's not only about the place from where taking birth, it's also about there's no knowledge. Children they don't have a knowledge actually. That's the reason they eat anything, they do anything actually, they are always requiring a guidance. They don't know where to walk, where to enter. All the time they have to be corrected by people around them actually, because they are born in a darkest of ignorance. Okay, so similarly we are also born, and we are not only born in a material darkness, we also have a spiritual darkness. We don't know what is our spiritual sarupa. We don't know who am I actually. And my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. So it's like that's the reason the guru is required actually, because it is the guru who teaches the path, who tells you that what is, otherwise you can explore. Like one of the Acharya Kulasekhara, he writes that Vedic literature is like a ocean full of shark. So many philosophies, so many interpretations are there. It's very difficult. You don't know. Your one lives after life will go away practicing one thing actually. You don't know whether it is right or wrong actually. Which path to follow, where to go, what to do actually. That's the reason Krishna has done an arrangement. Every children has given a parents. Why? Because who will take care of them? The children have so many needs. They have to be fed, they have to be, taken bath has to be done, body has to be cleaned, they have to be taught, they have to be fed. There's so many responsibilities are there. So that's the reason Krishna has given responsibility as a parent. Similarly, for his spiritual nourishment, who will do it? Parents may be one sometime, what happened, someone is blessed, born in a Vaishnava family or a spiritual family, your parents can be your guru, to start with at least. But many times, not all parents are, spiritually inclined or know enough, or they understand all the details actually. So you require then guru, who can teach you the path of self-realization actually. That is what here, Srila Prabhupada is writing actually. That my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer respectful obeisances unto him actually. That's the reason the guru has to be recognized. If the guru is not respected, knowledge will not be fruitful actually. That's the reason guru never has to be disrespected. Never. Disagreement can be there, but disrespect to guru will destroy all the auspiciousness whatever we have actually. In a spiritual life, it is very much true. In the age of Kali Yuga, we have so many false gurus as well. That's a different point altogether. But how genuine we are actually, depending on our own thing. Actually. How do I know who guru is right? And my consciousness would be right actually. If I'm looking for getting cheated, for me, I'm looking for, like for example, If I buy a kind of cheap product, because I am not willing to pay decent price, which is actual price, so I will get a cheap replica, carbon copy uski. So the quality of the product will be poor. Why? Because I have a miser mentality. I'm not ready to pay the real price which is required for it, and I knew it actually. Still, I try to get it in that way. Like for example, if you go and get a 1 liter of milk, 1 rupee, you must know that what is the quality going to be. Mostly you're going to water. Again, so similarly, the guru has to be respected actually. When Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya. So we follow the path of Srila Rupa Goswami because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has 6 disciples. They are called as Sada Goswami, and the first whom we follow is a Srila Rupa Goswami actually. So we are also called as Rupanuga. We follow Sri Rupa Goswami. So knowing the Guru Parampara is very, very important actually. It means what is the tradition is starting. So we are following Srila Rupa Goswami, who spent his life to establish what Lord Chaitanya wanted. And here Prabhupada is asking, please give me your shelter. Because with the blessings of the Guru, he will be able to elaborate on the Bhagavad Gita actually. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च. Can you read the translation?
I offer my respectful obeisance onto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and onto the feet of my all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisance onto the lotus feet of Sri Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunatha Dasa and Raghunatha Bhatta. Gopal Bhatta and Sri Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisance to Lord Krishna, Chaitanya, and Lord Nityananda, along with Advaita
Advaita
Acharya,
Acharya.
Advaita Acharya, Gadadhara Srivasa, and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisance to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishakha.
Yes. So here he's counting all the Sad Goswamis. So the first we are calling Srila Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, Raghunath Das Goswami, Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, and Srila Jiva Goswami. So these are the Sad Goswamis parampara. And he is calling their blessings as well. And then I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Krishna, who is here. He's non different from Krishna actually. Here. These two brothers, they are like a Krishna and Balaram. So Gaura Nitai. So paying obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Sri Nityananda Prabhu, along with Advaita Acharya, Gadadhar Pandit, Sri Vasa Thakur, and all other associates actually. So taking blessings of everyone actually. Like when you go, the marriage ceremony happens or any auspicious things happen, we get the blessings of so many people, so many elderly our people actually. So similarly, in the spiritual parampara, there's a two parampara is called. One is called a Bindu parampara, one is called Nad parampara. Bindu parampara means where you have a genetic past actually. So you have a parents, you have a grandparents, you have cousins, you have a relative. They all are connected to you genetically some way or other. That is called Bindu parampara. Nad parampara means where you pay obeisances on who is your father, who is your mother, or who is what. It is about being on a spiritual relationship actually. So we are called as a guru. Guru is like a father, but he has also param guru. He is also finally this parampara goes back to Bhagwan himself actually. So that is called Nada parampara, from where the transcendental knowledge is descending actually. You understand? So one is a Bindu parampara, one is a Nada parampara. So in Nada parampara, the transcendental knowledge descend, and then we have this relationship actually. Relationship of our guru, param guru, and then all this goes back to Bhagwan himself actually. And then I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna, along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishakha. So they are two Sakhis of Srimati Radharani actually. And then offering the obeisances. हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमस्तुते. Prano, you read it. Translation.
O my dear Krishna, you are the friend of the distressed and the source of creation. You are the master of the and the offer my respectful obeisance unto you.
So these are the pranama, which is offered to the deities actually. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindho. And you can, very simple Sanskrit. You just read it, you can understand actually that hey Krishna, who are the interest and the source of the creation actually. That's a very beautiful property. He is friend of all the distressed. Anyone who has a suffering in a life should pray to Krishna. Should always. Krishna is the object of the prayers actually, because he is a, see dekho, if you get a very dukhi person and if you associate with that, you become more dukhi actually. That's how the world works. है कि नहीं? किसी दुखी आदमी से मिलोगे तो तुम्हें दुखी कर देगा वो, है कि नहीं? उसके पास बहुत दुख है कि नहीं? किसी ऐसे व्यक्ति से मिल जाओ जो हमेशा प्रॉब्लम में रहता हो तुम भी प्रॉब्लम में गिर जाओगे उसकी प्रॉब्लम के साथ, है कि नहीं? So, but then Krishna is very unique actually. He is the friend of all, Karuna Sindhu, because he's the ocean of the mercy. So he's he's the best friend of all the distressed and the source of creation. Deen Bandho Jagatpate. So Jagatpate, he's a master of the universe. And then Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute. You are the master of the gopis and lover of Srimati Radharani. Radharani is not an ordinary girl or ordinary lady of the world. She is the energy, Aladni Sakti of Bhagavan. So Bhagavan की जो आनंद शक्ति है वो श्रीमती राधा रानी है. We think okay it's a boy girl relationship. No, it's not like that. She is a भगवान की आह्लादनी शक्ति, आनंद शक्ति भगवान की है वो. She is not different from Krishna. We should not. That's the reason Krishna and his Leela should not be seen from a mundane point of view. Actually, a lot of idiots, they try to comment on Krishna Leela without even knowing what Krishna means actually. Krishna is not an ordinary boy or ordinary person. He's not even human actually. He's a Bhagavan. और भगवान की जो शक्ति है वो भी कॉन्शियस होती है. Like I have a certain position in IIT, so my pen has a certain power. Okay, I have a certain sanctioning authority. The day I got my to appointment letter, I got a certain this much fund you can spend as per your discretion, because I have a certain sanctioning authority. That fund I can sanction. It will not go to my superior actually. I have full right. But if fund goes beyond this, like for example, when you submit a proposal goes beyond 1 crore, 1 CR, even the dean sick cannot sign it actually. It has to go to the director actually. Only director can give a sanction to it actually. So everyone have their own. Krishna's energy are the conscious. They are not like our material energy kind of thing. Pen and paper में लिखना पड़ेगा उसको. भगवान की जो शक्ति है वो स्वयं एक व्यक्ति है, एक पर्सनालिटी है. So Bhagwan, Srimati Radharani. It's not like ordinary boy and girl we should think about it. We should not think, the consort of Lord Shiva is an ordinary woman actually. Not like that. They are the divine personalities. They are the man. Okay, so they are free from all the material defects, all contamination, all the material conception. They are not ordinary. They are not even human. They are not even superhuman. They are the God, Bhagwan himself. और भगवान की शक्ति है श्रीमती राधा रानी. Similarly, now she is ahladani shakti of Srimati Radha. Ahladani shakti of Bhagavan is Srimati Radha Rani. But to serve Krishna in so many bhava, so many mood, and so many ways, she expand herself in the form of the gopis. See, they are not like ordinary group of girls and the ladies as one boy or man. No, it's not like that. It's a very ridiculous, reduced, low-level conception. Male, female is a material conception in material world, low level. Atma doesn't categorize in a male and female actually. What about Bhagavan himself, who does not have any material tinge. He's a Satchit Ananda. You understand? So when we talk about Lalita, Vishakha, and all these gopis, they are expansion of Ahladini Shakti. It's like when you see a white light, which is coming from the sun, but if you put to the prism, then you say that, okay, it has many other frequencies as well, actually. There are many other, components involved here, actually. It's like a full band is there. So similarly, Ahladini Shakti of Bhagavan Sri Hari, the prominent is Srimati Radharani, but she expand many shades of that Shakti. And those shades of the Shakti comes in a form of Lalita, Visakha. So someone is a personification of music Vidya. I know, like a Sangeet, some different, these are the different varieties actually. And they should not be thought as a material person, no boy, girl, women, man, not like that actually. It's a material conception. Not a point. When we live in a lower conception of life, it's like a very child. I already explained many times. For a child, everything is a food in the mouth. You put anything in his hand, go to mouth. Why? Because he has a very low level of consciousness at that point of time. He lives only in a bodily consciousness. I have to maintain my body. For this, I have to eat enough. And then anything given to him, to mouth actually. Is it everything food? No. When we grow up, we understand everything is not a food. Everything has its own purpose actually. So similarly, those who have a very low level of consciousness, very low level of consciousness, they have no spiritual understanding. They think, oh, it's a boy, girl, man, women, male, female. No. In the spiritual world, no male, female actually. It's a material. Atma does not have a gender actually. Forget about the spiritual world here. It is the energy and energetics. So Krishna is energetic and these are the energy actually. ऊर्जा और ऊर्जावान है कि नहीं, जैसे धन धनवान, गाड़ी गाड़ीवान, who is the possessor of that. So ये भगवान की शक्तियां हैं और उन शक्तियों को धारण करने की क्षमता किसमें है? भगवान में actually. It's not a male female. The relationship between energy and energetic is not worldly relationship actually. And that's the way we should see the Krishna's relation. That's how their invocation has been called. तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये. Yes, Sadhav, you can read it. Translation.
I offer my respects to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu and you are very dear to Lord Krishna.
Radha, who is doing best service to Krishna, she is called Radha. So that's the reason I offer my respect to Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like a molten gold. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi. Tapta Kanchan. Kanchan is like a gold. Tapta means molten. Gaurangi means that radiance which is coming from the gold actually. And who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King of Vrishabhanu. Vrishabhanu is the father of Srimati Radharani. You are very dear to Lord Krishna. Why her benediction has been asked? Because we have to learn. If I want to learn swimming, I have to learn from the best swimmer. Who is the best swimmer actually? If you want to learn certain art, you learn from who is best in that field, in that area. So similarly, Srimati Radharani is the best devotee of Krishna. And that's the reason her mercy and compassion is required actually. Vancha kalpatarubhyash sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namaha. Yes, Anjali.
I offer my respectful obeisance unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone, just like desire tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen
Souls. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desire of everyone like a desired tree, and they are full of compassion for all the fallen souls. So they are called as a kalpataru, kalpataru bhascha kripa sindhu bhayevacha. So there has been mentioned. One, kripa sindhubhya, they are ocean of the mercy actually. And second, kalpavriksha, kalpataru. Like in a Swarga Loka, there's a kalpataru is there. Kalpataru means whatever you desire, that tree can actually. Okay, whatever you may ask, you can ask anything from that Kalpataru. But who is a real Kalpataru? The Vaishnavas. Because by their mercy, you can get Krishna, who is the source of everything actually. Hai ki nahi? So imagine you want to do something, a country, this, like for example, uh, recently I was talking, I want to do something in a forensic cyber, robotics forensic actually. So we wanted to do some research into it. So I was talking with one person who runs a big company in a US, for a forensic, investigation from India only, but he has a subsidiary in US. I know the director of that, that institute itself, complete forensic. So imagine if you know the director, you know everyone else actually. So similarly, if you know Krishna, you know everything, and that's what Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Vedes sarmeo ahamyo vedyo. After reading all the Vedas, what you will get to know? Me only. That is the confidence of Krishna. He says in Bhagavad Gita. That is the Bhagavan. He speaks like a Bhagavan because he is a Bhagavan. He says that Vedes sarmer ahamyo vedyo. Even after reading everything the Vedas, whom you will know? Me only. So if you know Krishna, you know everything. And how we know Krishna? By the mercy of the Vaishnavas. And that's the reason they are called as a Kalpataru. And they are ocean of the mercy. Why they are called as ocean of mercy? Because directly approaching Krishna, we are not qualified. Most of the time. We are not qualified. And it's happened, like many times when you want to enter in a topmost institute or something, what do you try to do? You try to approach a faculty or someone who can be associated with your direction. Then he agrees, okay, you come, you can do research with me or whatever. Actually, it'll become easy, na? So similarly, establishing a connection with the Vaishnava allows you to establish the connection with Bhagavan, which you may not be directly qualified for various reasons. There may be various obstructions actually. But when we go through the route of the Vaishnavas, it becomes clear. जैसे कहते हैं ना कि if you want to enter in a दुर्ग, देवी को दुर्गा क्यों कहा जाता है? Because material world is like a durga. It's like a prison house. And she is a guardian deity of the material universe. इसलिए माँ कही जाती है वो भगवती, है कि नहीं? इसलिए दुर्गा कही जाती है वो. दुर्ग की जो अधिष्ठात्री देवी है वो दुर्गा है. उस दुर्ग में अगर प्रवेश करना हो तो भाई किसी को तो दरवाजा खोलना पड़ेगा ना. अब धक्का मार के तो नहीं घुस पाओगे उसके अंदर, या उसको तोड़ फोड़ के भी नहीं घुस पाओगे एक्चुअली, और उससे निकल भी नहीं पाओगे. किसी को तो दरवाजा खोलना पड़ेगा ना अंदर से. You should have an insider in that durga, or there should be someone who can open the door for you. Entry exit जिसके लिए भी you require an insider who can do that job for you, है कि नहीं? तो वो that job is done by Vaishnavas actually, because Krishna is a Bhagavan. He is busy with his energy. He doesn't care for material world. He doesn't require, कोटि कोटि ब्रह्मांड भगवान के रोम छिद्रों से निकलते हैं. जैसे हमारा पसीना निकलता है, गंदगी निकलती है, भगवान के रोम छिद्र से ब्रह्मांड निकलते हैं एक्चुअली. We'll be reading at some point of time actually. जब भगवान कारुणदक्षाई विष्णु जब सोते हैं करण ओशन में, so when he inhales, all the universes come to his body. It is written in Brahma Samhita and many other scriptures actually. And when he exhales, all the universe, and there are millions and trillions and trillions and trillions, uncountable universes comes out from his pores actually. That's Mahavishnu actually. So for him, he doesn't care. And that Mahavishnu is nothing but a one kala, one speck of Sri Hari Bhagavan Krishna actually. So imagine what is a great बड़ी चीज हो जाती है. Imagine he is a Bhagavan himself. He doesn't care about material world, but he is compassionate. He has, like, it's like a franchisee. Big company, they have a franchisee in different cities. So Vaishnavas are like a franchisee. Vaishnavas can be approached easily actually. On the point. So that's the reason they are like a desire tree, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Why? Because in material world, mostly we all are fallen actually. We all are full with kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These are the 6 enemies. And we all have a good content of those actually. Kama. Who doesn't have a kama? Can anyone raise their hand? We all have a kama. Krodha. Kama, krodha, lobha. Who doesn't have a krodha? Who said, I'm a perfect gentleman, I never get angry in any situation. No one can raise hand. Kama, krodha, lobha, greed. Can someone say I have no greed whatsoever actually? I may not have a greed for 1 rupee, 10 rupee, 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakh, 1 crore. You require a right price to extract your greed. But greeds are there. When amounts, zeros getting added na, behind it, ईमान डोलने लगता है. अरे exactly. And these are the 3 paths of hell. Kama, Krodha, Lobha. Krishna says that नर्क के 3 द्वार होते हैं. Kama, Krodha and Lobha. I'll be explaining further in Bhagavad Gita. So these are 3 gateway of hell. But then along with the 3, there are other 3 also there. Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada and Matsarya. Moha means something you don't know what is right and wrong. Attachment is a secondary meaning of that. When people do not have a sense of discrimination, that is called moha. बोलते ना मोह में पड़ गया. Moha means no sense of discrimination. Moha also means attachment, by the way. But the primary meaning is not having a sense of discrimination. But the secondary meaning is also sense of attachment, false attachment. So moha, mada. मैं ही दुनिया में सबसे बढ़िया हूं, सब आता है. ये आता है. अच्छा ये क्या हुआ करके दिखाओ. अब अभी भूल गया बाद में. रिवाइज करना पड़ेगा. और नहीं तो आई एम द बेस्ट. My community, my state is best. All other states, people are, they come to my state for job. My community is best. My language is best. My food is best. Mother. And last one, Matsarya. Matsarya means enviousness, jealousy. I cannot tolerate anyone doing better than me. I cannot tolerate anyone is better than me in anything actually. दूसरे के दुख में लोग दुखी हो जाते हैं, सुख में सुखी होने वाले बहुत कम मिलते हैं actually. Matsarya. And these 6 enemies are there with all. But when we surrender to a Vaishnava, when we approach to a Vaishnava, when we approach to the spiritual knowledge, we will be able to minimize those 6 defects, 6 anomalies in us actually. One point. And that's the reason the Vaishnavas, they are called as a full of compassion for fallen souls. Those who are fallen actually. Otherwise, we all are fallen actually. We require compassion, we require mercy. And that mercy can be derived when we approach the Vaishnavas. Bhagavan doesn't have, he's busy. He is his Sachidananda, he's enjoying his own bliss. But then he's so compassionate, he empowers the Vaishnavas actually, that they can deliver those who are suffering actually. Like a prime minister cannot guard and should not guard every street of the city. Whose job it is actually? He empowers people to do that job. He's a Bhagavan. It is his will which run end actually. किसी country में भी actually देखो, एक बार जो लॉ बनकर आता है वो टॉप से लेकर एंड तक सबको फॉलो करना पड़ता है. बट डजंट मीन दैट प्राइम मिनिस्टर डाले के खड़ा हुआ है हर ऑफिस में उसको इंप्लीमेंट कराने के लिए. ऐसा नहीं है. He need not to do that actually. He has the people who can do it for him on his behalf. They are representative of him actually. And if you obstruct, that is one of the offenses that officer implementing his duty actually, doing his duty. It's a crime. Is one of the CRPC code is there. So similarly, it is a Sri Hari who is present everywhere. His will runs everywhere, but he allows he to be approached through his devotees actually. Then I will read this last verse and then Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Can someone read the translation? Ayush?
I offer my obeisance to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhara, Srivas, and all other in the line of devotion.
Yes. So now Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Nityananda Prabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Krishna himself. Sri Nityananda Prabhu is nothing but Sri Balaram ji. Sri Advaita Acharya is nothing but Sadashiv Mahavishnu. Gadadhar Pandit is nothing but Srimati Radha. Nivas Pandit is nothing but Narada actually. So Devarsi Narad and all the other devotees, they are called as a Pancha Tattva in Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy. And these five has to be paid an obeisance, their blessings has to be desired, and Prabhupada is asking for their blessings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This mantra comes in Kali Santaran Upanishad actually. Al Kali Santaran Upanishad is specifically meant for the age of people in a Kali Yuga. And when we chant this mantra in the age of Kali Yuga, this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, which have a 32 syllable, we are able to perform all the sadhanas which is required. Like in Bhagavatam, when Kali Yuga started, and it was sheltered by King Parikshit, so he was lamenting why I gave a shelter to Kali Yuga actually, and Kali Yuga has have a devastating effect on the population. But then Sukadeva Maharaj spoke Bhagavatam to him, and he says that in that, Kaler dos nidhe rajan asti eko mahadguna kirtana deva krishnasya mukta sangaha samachara. So this means Kaler dos nidhe rajan. Kali Yuga is a full of fault, everything full of fault. And what we do in age of Kali Yuga, we find fault in others. We spend whole life in finding the fault in everyone except ourselves. अपने जैसे नहीं, गोस्वामी क्या नाम है उनका, कबीर दास जी ने एक लिखा है दोहा में कि अपने बेल जैसे दोष नहीं दिखते हैं, लेकिन दूसरों के सरसों जैसे दोष भी हम सूक्ष्मदर्शी लगा के देखते हैं, उसको मैग्नीफाई करते हैं, है कि नहीं? दूसरों के सरसों जैसे हमको दिखते हैं, बट अपने बेल जैसे लटकते हुए दोष हमको नहीं दिखाई पड़ते हैं. सो कलेर दोष निधे राजन, कलयुग दोषों का सागर है. अस्ति को महदगुणा, लेकिन इसमें एक महान गुण है, कीर्तना देव कृष्णस्या, भगवान श्री कृष्ण के नाम का संकीर्तन करने से मुक्त. सो वॉट एवर यू आर गेटिंग, यू विल गेट जस्ट बाय संकीर्तन. गोस्वामी जी मानस लिखते हैं कि कलयुग केवल नाम आधारा, सुमरि सुमरि नर उतरे पारा. Kali is only the name, the only shelter is Naam, and Naam alone actually, the name of Krishna. Hare means Srimati Radharani, the energy of Krishna. So here it is, we are calling Radha and Krishna together. That's the reason is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So Sukadeva Goswami says in Bhagavatam, Krite yadhyayato Vishnu tretayam yajto makhe dwapare paricharayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. Krite yadhyayato Vishnu, सतयुग में तपस्या करने से जो फल मिलता है, कृते यध्यायतो विष्णु त्रेतायाम यजतो मखय, त्रेता युग में यज्ञ करने की जो उपासना की जाती है उससे जो फल मिलता है, वो कलयुग में केवल भगवान के संकीर्तन से मिल जाता है. सो कृते यध्यायतो विष्णु त्रेतायाम यजतो मखय द्वापरे परिचर्यायाम कल. सतयुग में क्या होता था, लोगों की आयु लंबी होती थी, ज्यादातर ऋषि लोग लाखों साल जीते थे. विश्वामित्र ने 60,000 साल तपस्या की. यहाँ तो 60,000 साल तो हमारी उम्र भी नहीं है, हम सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं, तपस्या कहां से करेंगे. तब उनको गायत्री के दर्शन हुए एक्चुअली, है कि नहीं? आप लोगों ने देखा होगा विश्वामित्र जी का. सो विश्वामित्र जी ने 60,000 साल, वशिष्ठ मुनि का पढ़ेंगे उन्होंने हजारों साल तपस्या की है. कृते यध्यायतो विष्णु, वो लोग सतयुग में विष्णु का ध्यान करते थे और वो युग धर्म होता था एक्चुअली. कृते यध्यायतो विष्णु, उम्र बहुत ही थी, लोग ज्यादातर सन्यासी होते थे, घर बार बनाने वाले बहुत, गृहस्थ जीवन में आने वाले बहुत कम लोग होते थे एक्चुअली. आयु लंबी होती थी, बुद्धि बड़ी होती थी, विद्या होती थी, शक्ति होती थी एक्चुअली. तो वो कलयुग का धर्म था, कृते यध्यायतो विष्णु. और युग धर्म सिखाने के लिए भगवान स्वयं आते हैं। इसलिए नर नारायण ऋषि बद्रिकाश्रम में आके तपस्या करके युग धर्म सिखाया और फिर बोला अब तुम लोग फॉलो करो। जैसे हम लोग लैब में पहले कुछ करके दिखाते हैं, फिर देन यू फॉलो। एक्चुअली वी टीच, देन वी गिव एन असाइनमेंट। तो भगवान कम्स एंड टीच द युग धर्म, और युग धर्म सिखाने के लिए भगवान स्वयं बद्रिकाश्रम में आए। और आज देखो बद्रिकाश्रम में भगवान विराजते हैं। एक्चुअली नर नारायण भगवान, उन्हें सिखाया कैसे तपस्या की जाती है। तो कृतय अध्याय तो विष्णु त्रेतायाम विष्णुमुख है। त्रेता युग में भगवान यज्ञ करने के लिए सिखाने के लिए आए। परशुराम जी के रूप में हजारों यज्ञ किए, भगवान राम के रूप में हजारों यज्ञ किए एक्चुअली, और बहुत सारे रूपों में भगवान ने यज्ञ करना सिखाया। सो सतयुग में जो मिलता था वो चीज अब द्वापर में, त्रेता में यज्ञ करने से मिलती है, क्योंकि अब लोग गृहस्थ होने लगे, गांव बसने लगे, बड़े बड़े नगर बसने लगे, तो उनको यज्ञ करना सिखाया, क्योंकि अब तपस्या करने का सबकी क्षमता नहीं है। अब कम लोग सन्यासी बनेंगे, कम लोग तपस्वी बनेंगे, ज्यादा लोग गृहस्थ होंगे एक्चुअली, लेकिन सदगृहस्थ होंगे, इसलिए यज्ञ होने लगे। सो जो फल सतयुग में मिलता था तपस्या से, वो त्रेता में यज्ञ से मिलने लगा। लेकिन यज्ञ में घी चाहिए, ब्राह्मण चाहिए, मंत्र चाहिए। आप सोचो जो यज्ञ चलते थे, हजारों हजारों साल यज्ञ चलते थे। कहते हैं, जो मैंने बताया था ना, अग्नि ने वो जो खांडव वन जला के नाश किया था, क्यों किया था? क्योंकि अग्नि को हजारों साल का यज्ञ करने से इतना घी पिया था, उनको अजीर्ण हो गया था, ऐसा लिखा है महाभारत में। तो उसके लिए औषधि खाने के लिए उन्होंने खांडव वन को जला दिया। तो जो खांडव वन में जो वनों की औषधियां थी, वो खाकर उनका पचन हुआ, जो उन्होंने घी पिया था हजारों साल के यज्ञ में। तो हजारों साल के यज्ञ चलते थे, और यज्ञों की परंपराएं इतनी कठिन होती है, सब लोग उसको फॉलो नहीं कर सकते हैं। ब्रह्मचर्य का पालन करना, ऋतु कितने सारे होने चाहिए, ऋषि होने चाहिए। यज्ञ नहीं हो सकता, उम्र नहीं है, इतनी क्षमता नहीं है, इतना वो नहीं है, तो मंदिर बनाकर भगवान की पूजा होना। इसे आप देखोगे ज्यादातर मंदिर जो है वो पांडवों के समय के हैं। एक्चुअली ज्यादातर मंदिर पांडवों ने स्थापित किए हैं, बलराम जी ने, ये अर्जुन ने, या किसी किसी ने पांडवों ने स्थापित किए होंगे ज्यादातर मंदिर। द्वापर ही परिचय है आप, बट वो भी संभव नहीं है। इतने बड़े मंदिर चलाना ही संभव नहीं, बनाना भी संभव नहीं है। तो कलौ तधरी कीर्तनाद, और कुछ नहीं होता, घर में बैठ के माला लेके भगवान का नाम तो ले ही सकते हैं ना, कलौ तधरी कीर्तनाद। इसीलिए कलयुग में हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का जप सबको करना चाहिए। और सतयुग में तपस्या से जो मिलता है, द्वापर में यज्ञ से जो मिलता है, त्रेता में यज्ञ से जो मिलता है, द्वापर में भगवान के बड़े बड़े मंदिरों में जो पूजा उपासना होती है उससे जो फल मिलता है, वो कलयुग में केवल भगवान के नाम के संकीर्तन से उस फल की प्राप्ति हो जाती है। सतयुग में लोगों की आयु 1,00,000 साल थी, 1/10। द्वापर में 1000 साल हुई, त्रेता में, द्वापर में 100 हो गई, कलयुग में मैक्सिमम। एवरीथिंग गेट बाय 1/10 एक्चुअली। धर्म घटा, क्षमता घटी, बुद्धि घटी, सब कुछ घटा, एवरीथिंग, साइज घटा। सतयुग में लोग बहुत ऊंचे होते थे, द्वापर में उससे कम, त्रेता में उससे कम। इसलिए आप देखोगे कहीं कहीं हनुमान जी के पांव के निशान मिलते हैं, इतने बड़े बड़े मिलते हैं, देख के लगा है। मैंने देखा था, एक जगह में गया था, वहां भीम जी का एक दिया रखा है, उसको हम 2-4 लोग मिलके भी ना हिटा पाएंगे। इतना बड़ा पत्थर दिया, जैसे भीम जी ने आरती किया होगा कभी किसी समय। बंगाल में है ये भाई, एक चक्र में। सो सब कुछ घटा, उम्र घटी, बुद्धि घटी, विद्या घटी, क्षमता घटी। तो कलयुग में केवल हरि नाम संकीर्तन। So that's the reason we all should do sankirtan actually. Nothing else can be done. भगवान के नाम का संकीर्तन. So thank you very much. But I request you all to come on time so that we can finish on time. 7:15 के बाद से तो क्लास ही स्टार्ट हुई थी. So thank you very much. Anyone has any question? Offline or online? No question? अरे इतना कुछ बताया, किसी को प्रश्न ही नहीं है. Anyone has a question from online? Yes. Okay. So thank you very much.